Hi, welcome to Ocean Yumi's channel. So I'm gonna play a little bit or a couple bits of Yolanda's interview. She's the one who killed Selena.
If there is this information that if it doesn't exonerate you, at least gives context as to why Selena Quintanilla is dead, why would you not have demanded that that be presented in court to spare your life?
If I knew then what I know now, you can rest assured that my trial wouldn't have gone the way it is, or that it was. I can assure you that.
During the course of a 2-hour interview, Yolanda was continually evasive, bolstering the public image that she's clever, cunning, and manipulative. While her conviction is on appeal, Yolanda's reluctance to answer certain questions is understandable. But then, as the interview continues, she jumps at an opportunity to supposedly tell all. This is a letter that your family has said you received here in prison. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Behind the Music was given 2 letters by the Saldivar family prior to this interview. They are allegedly from a man named Lorenzo Salinas, who Yolanda says she and Selena met while doing business in Mexico in early '95. The Texas Department of Corrections confirms the letters were mailed from outside the prison. During an exhaustive 7-month investigation, Behind the Music was unable to find Lorenzo Salinas or confirm his existence.
He tells me exactly what I've been saying all along.
Which is what?
That he feels his conscience is killing him because he knows the truth. And he knows that he feels that. He thinks that I have things that...
So there is a non-existent person that letters are coming from. So I wonder who was writing the letters outside of the prison that was sent to Yolanda.
Well, eventually say it all. And
do you?
Yes.
Yolanda claims that 2 weeks prior to the murder, she discovered videotapes damaging to Selena's career, and that she had a diary of Selena's that corroborated information on the tapes. In his purported letter, Lorenzo Salinas claims he was hired to beat up Yolanda to retrieve the tapes and diary as part of a plot to extort Selena. Yolanda claims she was attacked, but managed to get away. You know where those tapes are now?
Exactly.
You know where that diary is now?
I know where they're at.
Yolanda contends they remain where she stashed them, in a safe deposit box in Monterrey, Mexico. Why is that information significant to the death of Selena Quintanilla?
Because that is many of the things that were discussed that day. It was not about the embezzlement. It was not about no obsessed fan or being fired. It had nothing to do with that.
What Yolanda won't explain is why, if she was protecting Selena, she instead killed her.
Yolanda's state of mind is an issue in this case.
San Antonio attorney Ramiro Estrada has been retained by the Saldivar family. He says while the information in Mexico may not exonerate Yolanda, it will somehow shed light on her state of mind in the days leading up to the murder. Estrada hopes the
lady's obsessive. She's a liar and she's psychotic.
alleged evidence will open the door for a second trial and a reduced sentence.
I think Yolanda knows that she needs this information to be found.
Yolanda empowered Estrada to retrieve the supposed evidence, and Behind the Music accompanied him to Monterrey, Mexico. Isn't there a chance, maybe even a pretty good chance, that Yolanda's lying to us about this evidence?
Well, I think anything's possible, but it would serve no purpose. It would not help her to be perpetrating a lie.
Yolanda and the Saldivar family directed Estrada to more than a half-dozen different bank locations.
I don't see what good it would do for her to be sending this on a wild goose chase. I mean, it's certainly not going to help her in the trial.
But a wild goose chase it proved to be. There was no safe deposit box, no tape, no diary, no evidence. You're disappointed that this evidence hasn't been found?
Sure I am.
Following the trip, Estrada revealed he intends to remove himself from Yolanda's case. Whether the extortion plot, videotapes, and diary are fact or Yolanda's fiction remains unknown, and may never be known, as Yolanda reveals in one smug answer.
I guess I'll take it to my grave.
In San Antonio, Yolanda Saldivar, a 31-year-old nurse who frankly didn't like Tejano music until she saw Selena perform, started a fan club.
Career, my license. Now it's time for me to have fun.
So tell me about your first meeting.
I was like meeting Whitney Houston.
At first, they don't see each other often, essentially only when Selena plays San Antonio.
I was their gopher, so to speak, in San Antonio.
But you loved it.
Female presenters don't stand
To celebrity
Well,
in
actually,
San Antonio, Texas.
well, not only that, but it was because my friends. It was Suzette and it was Selena. I did it for them.
But you had to have enjoyed.
This lady, right? She laughs as he says, "Oh, well, like he was their gopher." Right? Obviously, when you're part of a stars, I'll think when you're part of a stars thing, stars career, like you're part of their life, their whatever they're going through. You will be the gopher because you have to start from the beginning. You know what I mean? You start from the bottom and make your way up. So that laugh just shows me her mind's not all there. She gives off an energy like smug energy. She's very smug. She's very smug. And I feel when people smug like this, it's a lot of ego there. Like I got away with it. Because there's still unanswered questions, even to the other interview that I'm going to play after this one. She's so smug with it, smug as hell. And it's like he took away someone very young. He didn't even like her music at first because she wasn't like the men of the music or whatever the silly excuse is. And then you sit in front of this interviewer, very smug. You know what I mean? If she gets off, right, after all this, I'll be very surprised because she's got no remorse. Even in her answers at the time, there's no remorse. I mean, I know when you're on interviews, you have to give off a kind of air of whatever, kind of air of so you can give the answers, but she's very smug and yeah. I don't like this lady at all. I don't even like her. I didn't like her on the program and I don't like her on this. On it. Now as I see her.
But the fact that your friends were becoming such celebrities.
Well, that too.
At one time, my whole family liked Yolanda. You know, we would invite her to come eat at our house. And we'd have a get-togethers and we'd invite her.
It was that our friendship had gone from being just a fan celebrity type to this personal type of relationship.
When Selena made the decision to open up the boutiques, she needed someone to run them. And there was Yolanda, her trusted friend who would never let her down, who was always there for her.
And I'm the one that suggested, well, what about that girl that runs a fan club in San Antonio? She looks pretty, like a nice person. And that's how Yolanda came into the picture.
It was then that she hired me in '94.
Even though you had no business experience.
Even though I had no business experience, no.
She didn't know anything about retail, and that's basically, come on, you need retail 101 to manage a retail space.
And I think that
Now the guy before is Selena's friend who kind of had an inkling there was something off with Yolanda. He wasn't even feeding her anyway at the beginning, but because he's friends with Selena, you can't. Right, I think they must have let things slip because of Selena and because of who Selena is.
that's where things started unraveling.
Both Martin Gomez and Yolanda agree that from the very beginning they are at each other's throat, not just about business, but over access to Selena. Gomez contends the stage was being set for Selena to be deceived and controlled by an obsessive Yolanda.
She's made it very clear to me that in order for me to speak to Selena, I have to go by her.
He started seeing that his contact with Selena was becoming less and less.
Martin says that the reason his time was less and less is because you were becoming obsessed with Selena.
That's not true.
Yolanda derived her popularity with people because of her association with Selena. And if anyone else was going to get closer to her, to Selena, or get her ear, that was a threat to Yolanda. And by virtue of being the creator of these designs, Martin Gomez was a threat.
By now, Gomez says Yolanda was trying to wrest control of Selena's life.
It was neurotic. It was neurotic, and it was strange, fanatical. Selena would come to visit, and then she'd leave, and she goes, "Oh, I miss her." I go, "She just left."
She didn't want to be bothered. Martin can understand that.
So you're assuming a bigger role.
Definitely.
Could that role be construed as becoming obsessed?
I don't know where people are getting this that I'm obsessed with Selena. It was a duty that she expected me to do, and I had to do it.
I was starting to recognize her just basically being controlling and trying to manipulate Selena. I was starting to, I was starting to identify that, and more than anything, I was going to Abraham with the information.
See, you got to understand that Martin and Yolanda are like two old women bickering at each other.
While that bickering must certainly be wearing on Selena, Abraham stays clear of it.
I'm gonna go to the other. Hold on, let me go to the other. Hold up, wait a minute. That's not there. Okay, let me see. Hi, Blanco. So I'm going to show another interview with Yolanda. Now, Yolanda never changes her stance on nothing, right? So this is 30 years after Selena is unalive by Yolanda. So Yolanda decides to do a tell-it-all. Yeah, read on her. Yolanda decides to do a little tell-it-all on their relationship and all this. So basically, she's making money off of Selena's name because then she disliked her in the first place. She didn't like her. She was controlling, obsessive, liar, crone, arse. I don't know what else to say. Because I've watched this earlier and she doesn't change. She doesn't waver. Yes, there is more to this story. Yes, I believe that. There is more to this story. Yes, for true. So I'm going to play her, and I'm also going to play Selena's friend, who literally, his intuitiveness and how he felt with, I mean, that was ages ago when they had the conversation with the designer that Selena was working with. Now, this lady here is a whole something else, right? Now, women, if your friend doesn't want you to see other people or interact or whatever, even if you've known people for years, there is something definitely wrong with that friend. I'll be very mindful of people. This lady infiltrated a family. I believe that's what she did. Okay. And she wanted to control Selena. Selena, being who she is, didn't see through this lady. She just saw, a friend, because she had no friends when she was coming up and in the music business and whatever else. This lady is manipulative. And I'm being nice right now because yesterday I was so mad after doing the little short bit on this story because, to be honest, the Netflix series gives you a little inkling, but we all know she definitely disliked the girl for whatever reason. She had family, she had her family, she had her father there, her mother. They was buying houses. They're successful. yeah, this lady is a whole liar, and normally I don't say that about people, but this one, she's a liar, obsessive liar. I'm gonna let her play.
What do you remember thinking or feeling that first time you met her?
Well, Selena had she had an aura of attracting you to her. When she would perform, she would draw you to dance with her. She wanted you to feel what she was feeling, and so it draw you to that. And maybe I was feeling like her. Maybe I was feeling down. Maybe I was feeling depressed. Maybe I was feeling joyful. She brought you into that. The first time I met her was in Desperado nightclub in San Antonio. She was very friendly, she wasn't telling me, Miss Yolanda or Yolanda. She says, hey, friend. And she would just pat you in the back or just laugh about it.
So you say all this, but you still unalived her. Am I going to be able to sit through this? I don't even know. I don't think I'm going to be able to listen to this lady. Right. As much as I put her name in the title. Because she's feeding off of this lady's energy. She's feeding off of Selena's energy, Selena's fame. Selena is still well known in Texas till now. She's feeding off of her. That's what she's doing. Okay. So her saying all this is nothing. It's mean. It's mean is to get my face out there. I'm this known person now. I'm getting my face out there. This is what this is about.
About anything and everything. And I said to myself, this girl doesn't even know me, and look at the way she treats me. And she kind of eased my worry a little bit and just embraced me. We became friends. Selena, when she came into the room, she kept trying to put guilt in me for not continuing with her and how everything was going to crumble. And she kept saying to me, if you don't stay with me, I know you're going to come out. You're going to be telling everybody about what was going on with the doctor. I felt like, how dare you accuse me when I've kept all your secrets? What do you want me to do? And all I could think is to show her my loyalty to her is to blow my brains out. My emotions were running so high and I was hurting. My body was hurting. I didn't know how to operate a gun. I've never had one. And so I just clicked it. I said, what do you want me to do? What is the last thing y'all want me to do? What is the last thing your family wants me to do? You want me to kill myself? Because I'll just do it. I got the gun in. And she said, no, Yolanda. And she went to the door. And when she went to the door, I said, don't close the door. And pow, it went.
I think at this point you'll say anything, you know. I feel, this is what I feel, yeah. Selena went to get the rest of her papers from you about the embezzlement of what's going on with the businesses. And you obviously got mad because you can see that everything's going to crumble because her dad seemed to have had already investigated you and they seen that you embezzled from the businesses. Now, the last things that you had to give her was the last bits to the business so they can do, you know, which is what you do with businesses. You have to check the ins, the incomings, the outcomings, the inputs, the extras, or whatever else. So whatever you took from her, she had to get from you, and you didn't want to give to her. So you must have picked up the pow, obviously, and then, like in a rage, you unalived her because one, you know that Abraham, this is one of Abraham's, right? You know, his daughter. This is daughter for one. So you have to take something away from him as well because all the family was on your case, basically. It's not just Selena. And Selena trusted you because in the whole in the hotel description of when Selena was on a live, they said that how she was shot, and then she made her way to the reception, and then you shot her again. So you're saying all this. I think maybe there was a little bit of an argument about the papers. Yes, there was, because obviously she would want to get her stuff back. Now, the fact that how this lady's coming on here 30 years later, because this was done, this is not a recent one, and she's saying all this. Like I said, she's getting her face out there. She's written a book. She didn't even like the woman at first anyway. To me, if you don't like somebody at first, right, you wouldn't talk to them anyway, unless there is an underhanded other things going on. So I know if I'm not feeling somebody, if I'm not feeling that person, right, I keep my distance, or I keep relatively distanced from the person, right? And it's the same with music. If you don't like certain music, you don't listen to it. You don't go about. It's like relationships and friendships. Friendships is deep because you have to get to know people and stuff like that. She took advantage of this young lady, and people could tell me I'm wrong. She manipulated her. She wanted to separate her from people, friends, whatever. Bear in mind, this girl is running businesses. She's trying to get her business, her boutique running, her this running, she's got a singing career going on. She's got family. She's trying to get to the next step in her life and all sorts of stuff. This lady was jealous. She was jealous. And I'm sure one of the people working with her is going to say the same thing. So I ain't going to listen to this idiot no more because I can't stand her. I don't even know why I bothered looking after the first interview. So this is Martin Gomez, who warned Selena of Yolanda. Hold on. Can you hear a child crying? Okay, so this is Martin Gomez, who warned Selena. Boy, put it on this thing. This is Martin Gomez, who warned Selena about Yolanda. His intuition kicked in. Obviously, the first impression wasn't very good, or whatever impression she gave off. So he was warning her, and I think he said it before in the one before. You know, certain things. If a person's doing all that, trying to keep you away from your kin and your folk and your friends, and you just now come the other day, there's something totally wrong with that. That's not how friendship goes. You know, like, you can have friends, like okay, I use myself. I can be friends with somebody, and they have other friends outside other than me. But I'm not gonna say, don't talk to that one. Don't do. See that one? Don't talk to. It's not for you to do. You just came on the scene just the other day, and you're supposed to be really there to do your work and earn your money. And you embezzling stuff, like not paying off people, not paying off the vendors, whatever, was wrong, because Selena was making money around about that time. She was everywhere. She was doing shows galore, right? Lots of shows. She was able to pay off vendors, whatever. The lady, even there's a one where she signs for some next person who's non-existent, family, something. Oh, she's done a lot. Anyways, let me just let Gomez talk and see if he picked up on what I picked up on.
Beginning, right from the jump, you really had some concerns about Yolanda Saldivar and her relationship with Selena. Kind of tell us about that.
Well, it started pleasantly. I mean, she was extremely friendly and nice. And I think towards the middle of us almost developing a relationship, things turned. I mean, the more power she had, and the more accessibility she had with Selena, she got obsessive. I think for me, it started when one of my assistants went to go pick up some zippers at her home, and she came back startled, saying, it's more than obsession. I mean, her apartment is filled with Selena memorabilia. And at first, I didn't think anything of it. She was the head of the fan club. However, soon after, Selena and I were really, really close. We were creating a brand together. One night, and I worked really late. I mean, I was literally doing her costume and creating a collection for her. And one night, she followed me. And it was bizarre because she wanted me to see her follow me. And that happened 1 or 2 or 3 times where, it became startling.
Did you ever feel that you should warn Selena? And if so, what was Selena's response?
Yeah, I did. And Selena and I had a lot of one-to-one time because, her ideas, we were kind of developing a brand. And oftentimes, we would sit and listen to some of the music, and then I would sketch from whatever, inspiration I got from the music. And, it was hard because Selena was such a sweetheart. So, venturing into that type of conversation was difficult. Selena didn't talk negatively about anyone. So I didn't want to be perceived as being either jealous or overly concerned. But when I would bring it up, she would constantly tell me, baby, you worry too much. And I'm like, I'd say, girl, she acts a little bit obsessive. But I don't think Selena had it in her to think negatively of anyone.
See, his intuitiveness and his how he observed the lady was on point. Because just that, look, I've watched like 2 interviews of her so far, and I'm not even. The lady gives off. Not only is she an old lady, and I'm not saying old ladies cannot run fan clubs for young people. No, I'm not saying that, right? Even if you do have posters of a person, right? There is obsessive posters, and then there's weird obsessive. Okay, weird obsessive, and I feel Yolanda was weird obsessive, right? Because like I said, there's I think there's 2 or 3 types of fans, and you lot can correct me if you know about these fan bases, right? If you followed Michael Jackson back in the day, Jackson 5, the Jets, the Barge, I can't remember all of the names, New Edition, New Kids on the Block, who else? Mark Wahlberg, I can't remember. There's a whole lot. Right, for me to go through, right? And they are massive stars, right? So there is the super fan, which is what I was trying to explain yesterday. There's a super fan. The super fan is the one who have all the memorabilia, the tops, the jackets, the hats, the whatever is linked to the artist or group, right? And I think they do go concerts as well, right? And they would really look up to the person. They would even mimic how they dress, and right, because it's a big influence. It's like a big influencer that is come up to date now. That's what the super fan represents. Then there is the very obsessive weirdo who takes it beyond the next way, where it's like memorabilia, other stuff, dolls. Well, I mean, they bring out dolls as well, right? I don't even know whether I'm explaining this properly, but I know, being a fan of Michael Jackson, I had most of the posters, the books, I think I tried to make a glove. I danced like Michael Jackson. You literally mimic the person. You kind of mimic them, but it's not in a bad way because you're looking up to them. So, or you're listening to the music. Like, even if you look at Prince's fan base, They dressed like him. They did his hair. They wore the clothes. They have his pictures, and you know what I mean. But Yolanda was overly excessive. One, because she's closer to the singer. She was closer to her, so she was more close than most fans could ever get to. She was working for them. She was doing like I forgot what it was, like the helper, was she calls the gopher, because you are literally helping the star become even bigger. That's what you're doing. And you know, but once you start not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you're embedding money, sending money this way, that way, other places, telling people that they can't, that's it, you can't be close to that one. This, okay, that's when it's too much. So basically, she ain't even a super fan. She ain't even the other type of fan. I think she's more the weirdo. Okay, she's a weirdo, basically, in one. So what I'm gonna do also, because you know me, I'm gonna look in and see the book, what she writ, but then I don't even think I should even look at her book or whatever, because she's definitely making a name of herself. And if she comes back out again in 2024, now the Netflix thing is out, right? That alone shows what she's trying to do. She's trying to get her name out there. She's trying to get parole. She's trying to come off like, although she's the innocent one, she's trying to say, like, you know, I was not like this and I was not like that. It's quite clear what's going on, you know. And if people, I mean, sometimes you from the outside you can see what's going on as well. And even Martin himself said Selena had a big heart, right? She was a kind person, and she obviously embraced everybody, no matter what or whether what status in life you are, where you are, how old you are, how young you are. She seemed to have embraced everybody. So this lady right here, let me show her face, because you know I normally put up the face. Let me see if I can find her face. Let me see. This lady right here is feeding off of this girl's spirit and who she is and all that monarchy. And yeah, that's how I feel about the whole thing on this one. Because imagine your child is doing her thing. Now she's able to take control of certain stuff, and then this lady comes along and just takes her out of this world. But anyways, I'm gonna try not to go on and on about Selena, because every time I look, I see something with this story. But it's clear what it is. It's really quite clear what it is. It's not only just the friendship part of it, it's the fact she didn't like her in the first place. And I'm just like, but you didn't even like the girl in the first place. You didn't like her music. So you was friends with her. False. You are the fake friend, the false friend, the whatever else. Like, the family embraced you, took you into their house, into their space. Probably not a lot of people was allowed in their space, and you got there, you went there, and I don't even, oh man. Anyways, if you know the story of Selena and Yolanda, and you have any more information that I've missed, you can put it underneath this video, because this lady here is a whole something else, yeah? She's whole something else. Her face is what she is. Her face. She is what she looks like. Evil, conniving, manipulative, liar. and everything else that goes with it. Okay, so thank you, Blanco, for coming, and I'll see you in the next one. And yes, Blanco, do look into it as well. Yeah, because you might get something that I missed. So with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.